one of the most horrific episodes I've ever seen in my life, Kevin.
Wait. You watched an episode of Bones today?
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. Last episode, we introduced the jar. I'm just going to refer to it as the jar.
We got a few people suspended from Twitter for the jar.
Yeah, we got people talking about the suicide jar, and they're talking about it so much that they got suspended from Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Real quick.
Real fast. Real fast. So beware. Head on a swivel if you're out here. If you're one of the chicken heads.
I didn't realize.
If you're a chicken head tweeting about our shows, you will get suspended like that. Which is weird though, because I thought to get suspended you had to get what's it called? Reported. And like, who's out here reporting like a random KFC Radio fan for like replying to our fucking tweets?
I think
Or is there
that
just
might
an
have been
algorithm
back
that picks up.
Like, yeah, I have seen people say SUI.
Yeah, I do a lot of asterisks and I say
Like
KMS and I do like I'm gonna end it, but
SUI isn't one I see a lot though. Like the KMS,
SUI?
Yeah, just like an SUI.
how about we
It's
you know
like-
what we should do? Why don't we come up with a code word?
I like
For
SUI.
us and the chicken heads. Just SUI?
Yeah, I think it's like what we could say.
See, I
like,
think it's better to
chop suey.
have. Yeah, maybe like I'm gonna. It's got to be like a verb though, you know. Like I'm gonna SUI. Is that what people say? I'm gonna SUI.
Yeah, I caught a SUI. Like I caught a DUI.
Dewey and okay. So there's Deweys and Sueys. Let's do capital SUI so that it looks like it's a thing. People be like, "What's an SUI?" Let me tell you, it's a SUI. Okay. So when you want to kill yourself, when you're having suicidal thoughts, you say, "I caught a SUI."
Someone said we could spend the money on a gun when we filled the jar.
Suspended.
I told that guy he might get hired.
When you fill it all up, you can buy a fucking gun. That's amazing. So, we came in hot because yesterday, or last episode, John, one of your darker moments where you were like, if I had a gun in the house the other day, it would have been done. So I wake up in the morning, and I received a text from my friend. My buddy texted me a screenshot, and it made me want to catch a SUI. And then it led to a little back and forth with Dave Portnoy.
What are the screenshots say?
I'll explain it in a
Okay,
second
okay.
because it made me either want to catch a SUI or have it was like 8 a.m, and I was like, I need to have myself an ice cold New Amsterdam vodka beverage. We actually are. We'll talk about it in a second, but we are doing a contest here at Barstool Sports with New Amsterdam, where we are trying to concoct the best New Amsterdam vodka cocktail. You'll be seeing that in action soon enough. We did a draft. We have all the different shows and teams here at Barstool Sports drafting ingredients and using New Amsterdam vodka, and it's funny. It's gonna be funny, and I think we're gonna put together ourselves a nice little cocktail.
I think one thing we're going to be a little hamstrung by is the idea that it was it was later in the day, and we were just both hungry.
We were hungry, and there were ingredients that were foods. And I was like, if we draft that, we'll get to put that right in front of us and eat it. And we did just that.
Yeah.
And it's not really an ingredient. I actually don't care for this ingredient when they put them in drinks, where I'm like, the food mixed with drinks sometimes is too much.
Oh, also,
Some
I
of
think
these
we've
places-
just said what the ingredient is.
Bacon?
Remember last time I was just like, I am just full of bacon and pickles.
Yeah, it was bacon and pickles. We need a lot of bacon and pickles. We ended up drafting bacon because then we could have just a bowl of like nice crispy bacon, and it was right in front of us. But when you get this makes it a lot easier. When you get a Bloody Mary, I think Chicago's known for them. There are certain places that are known for like.
Where they put like a slice of pizza in it.
Yeah, you get like a whole half a sandwich with like a fucking steak through it, and like I'm like, what am I? This is not part of my drink. I'd rather just order a sandwich and put it on a plate. I don't need to. You don't need to give me a BLT balancing on top of my Bloody Mary drink. So usually I don't like the bacon, but I was hungry, so we drafted the bacon.
The bacon was a great one, and it served its purpose. I don't know if it's going to find its way into the final recipe, but it's
we basically have one ingredient, right? We just have we have two, but it's just we got vodka and a couple mixers. That's really it. It's gonna be good though. It's gonna be fire because anytime you mix things with New Amsterdam Vodka, which is a crisp, refreshing, quality vodka at an affordable price, it's got it's got unparalleled smoothness, and you mix that with the right. Can we just say all the ingredients? Who fucking cares? Feidelberg drafted passion fruit with a passion. Yeah. We had the second overall pick. We had our entire pick of the litter, obviously minus the number one pick, and Feidelberg went, passion fruit! I was like, I guess
passion fruit's fucking awesome. You never had it.
I
you
never had
sip.
it. It was delicious. It was good. It's gonna be like a refreshing cocktail that, probably be more of like a beachy, outdoorsy, summertime cocktail. I don't know if you go to the bar at night and order a passion fruit drink.
I'll tell you what.
Wait, doesn't Drake have a song called Passion Fruit? Something fruit, right?
Yeah.
So let's work that into it. We'll be playing. We'll play Passion Fruit while we're drinking Passion Fruit.
I think he definitely does. And also,
yeah, the one that's like fucking,
yeah.
islandy or whatever.
There was also a time where we have the minor ingredients, if you will, where it's just like we don't have this extravagant stuff. Guess what? Pretty famous drink called the Pink Whitney doesn't have a ton of ingredients.
Not much in it.
Nope.
Not much in it.
It's pink
We
lemonade
should just
and
call
vodka.
ours the Passion Whitney, and we'll just sell that shit too. But listen, New Amsterdam Vodka is perfect whether you're gonna mix it up, whether you're going to shoot it straight, whether you want fancy drink, whether you want a basic drink. New Amsterdam is the go-to vodka here at Barstool Sports. So
You should call it the romantic. You already got that. The I am a romantic. Just passion and vodka.
Passion. Just all you need is passion. It's funny because the one thing we like completely lack is passion. So this morning, I get a text message from my good friend Johnny, whose real name is Vin, but we call him Johnny. Don't ask questions. He's the Tin Man. One year he dressed up as the Tin Man for Halloween. He's been the Tin Man ever since. And it says that. Barstool Sports founder revealed as the buyer of a record $14 million waterfront home in Miami's Morningside. It's like, that looks like the fucking mansion that Justin Bieber and Khaled recorded on the one at. It's like the nicest fucking mansion in Miami. So I borrowed a phrase from my old friend Feidelberg here, the inventor of the SUI Jar, and I said, this is the reason I don't keep a gun in the house. It literally ruined my morning. It ruined my like I was laying in bed.
Why?
Because he has enough money to buy a $14 million mansion.
Like we knew he did.
I know, but seeing it in action that he's like buying like the biggest house in the history of Miami, I was like, motherfucker. And literally I had woken up that day and I saw two texts. It was like, you gotta fucking get our kid into kindergarten and like deal with. I'm trying to get my. Let me run this by you. Let me do a little detour here. I got to get my kid into a new school, and it's gonna have to be the Catholic school in my town that's connected to the church that I obviously never go to and never contribute to. So I'm thinking about calling up and being like, we're parishioners, but we just haven't gone because of COVID. That plays, right?
Yeah. I mean, sure.
They've also been mailing us the envelopes for every Sunday, and we just haven't used it at all.
They might ignore it, but the Catholic Church is I think they're pretty well versed in how to just kind of turn a blind eye to things.
Right.
And like, we'll just pretend that we don't know that Kevin's lying to us.
As
But
long as
like,
I
they're
cut the
gonna
check,
know.
right? But as long as I cut the check, right?
How much of a check are you like supposed
I
to
think I
write?
gotta like make up for not fucking going and donating every Sunday, you know?
Why?
Because they're fucking assholes.
Really? So for like the last, let's call it 5 years,
I mean, I
You
wasn't
have
gonna
to-
do that many.
you have to write a check for every fucking Sunday.
I mean, that's what I'm
You're gonna have a
thinking.
cramp.
I'm thinking if I just be like, you know, well, it depends. If it's gonna be the last 5 years, I'm gonna say that I was gonna donate $1 every Sunday. If it's gonna be the last 1 year, I'd say like, I would throw you 20 or 50 bucks every Sunday. I'll write a check to get this kid in, just because it's it's been tasked to me, so I just got to get this shit done. But I was just worried about them being like,
I
well,
thought you just kind of just go. You just sign. I didn't go to Catholic school until
I don't
high
know.
school.
Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe they'll just be like, we're happy to have them. But I think they're gonna be like, well, what do you believe in? I mean, they're gonna probably Google me and be like, no.
Yeah.
Probably excommunicated. But
See, but also like there's I don't know, like I think Catholic schools just you're taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
If you like it's kindergarten.
Yeah,
Just
it's like
let
fucking-
the fucking kid in. Who
Yeah.
cares what's gonna happen? Like even like a Catholic high school I could see being a little more like restrictive and stuff like that. It's Catholic elementary school. You're all
not even,
teaching
it's
the
like
same-
preschool.
Wait,
You know? No, kindergarten.
also, wait, so does that mean like your children are never gonna get taught about like evolution?
I don't know how that works too. It's like, yeah, you're gonna feed him a bunch of fucking what is science class at the Catholic school? You know,
Like in high school, it was definitely just science, but I don't know if that like I know there was. Because my family bounced around schools all the time. I was just strict public school. But I had siblings who went to some Catholic, some they like we hate the school. We're going to public school. They like we hate public school. We're going back. They were bouncing
back
around.
and forth. Yeah,
And I know that at that Catholic school, there was some pushback on teaching science.
that's insanity. That is insanity.
Like, what do you mean
I could see them
we're
being
not
like,
doing creationism? Like, they're
Yeah.
like, no, we're doing fucking
we're doing
science.
We're doing reality. Like, yeah. So then, the gravity, the apple
And by
fell
the way,
off
the-
of Eve's head in the Garden of Eden after God made him out of a fucking rib. Made him out of a rib. What a dumb fucking story.
The pushback, to be clear, did not come from my parents, but there were parents who were like, "Why?
That is
what is
totally
happening with creation?"
bad shit, bro.
might
Bad
have-
shit.
You might want to check on that.
I know.
before we
do you
decide.
see, though,
if we're
so
gonna-
so I am waking up to that thought and that discussion, and Dave is waking up to closing on the best house ever in the history of Miami. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill myself. So then Dave sees that and quote tweets it just as only Dave can. Then you remember that you are a multi-millionaire because you met me, and if you didn't meet me, you'd be an accountant, and suddenly you buy me a housewarming gift.
That's kind of funny.
You know what I'm gonna do?
I mean,
My housewarming gift. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna take a shit in your toilet. I'm not gonna wash my hands, and I'm gonna just leave it floating in the goddamn bowl, which you probably won't even see for a week because it's in the West Wing. But yeah, this notion that I am a fucking millionaire. I think Dave legit thinks I've already got my money or something. I think everyone else got paid and I didn't, and he just forgot. It's like you got your money, right? It's like when he forgot to pay you and K Marco for like a month. It's like Dave, did you forget to give me your money from the sale? Wait, am I rich? Am I supposed to be? Dave used to just like write checks and not mail them. Maybe I'm supposed to be a multimillionaire, and Dave just forgot to give it to me because it's happened in the past. It used to happen on a much smaller scale. Imagine if Dave was like, oh shit, you were supposed to get like $3 million at the close. Imagine. I would probably be so mad about that. I'd be like, I don't want it. Fuck you. That would be incredible. So yeah,
Dave, I drive a Hyundai, a broken Hyundai.
that the tweet below that's even funnier. Do you know that reference, Larry? I'm on DuckTales.
No.
When there's Danny.
Oh yes.
When he's on Larry King, and Larry King was like, my luxury is a private jet.
Yeah,
It's like, Larry, I'm on DuckTales. I don't have a private jet, dude. It's unbelievable. But that was a good old classic throwback. Like, I mean, I don't think I've interacted with Dave on Twitter in like 5 or 6 years,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So that was a good old throwback to like rich boy, poor boy. But yeah, there's the video of me pushing my broken car. But I did get a lot of nice tweets. I always get these tweets of people being like, when are you going to start being positive? Like, you got to put out the right energy. I'm like, fuck you with that bullshit. And then I got a lot of nice, well, not nice, but just a lot of other tweets of people being like, no, you are a fucking, like a tortured Irish Catholic guy who suppresses your emotions just like I do. And I'm happy to know that there's one guy like you out there. So, like, keep doing it. I'm like, yeah. You're not alone. We're here together, So,
That's this one here. I saw that pop up immediately, and I'm like, you're gonna respond to that.
yeah, this fucking asshole. At some point, KFC just has to realize that hating everything and being negative isn't good for his brand, mental health, or overall quality of life. Bro, I can assure you, it is very much good for my brand. It is my brand. It's the only reason why we have like a successful show is because that's our brand. Like if we weren't,
Well, I don't hate everything. I don't hate everything.
Well, that's the
I
other
don't
thing
think.
too.
Yeah,
Is that
like,
that's just a misnomer. That's just like I can. The problem with the internet is like when you have the reputation I do, which is created, so whatever. But like, I can tell you all the TV shows I love. I can tell you all the foods I love. I can tell you the brands of clothing I love. I can tell you the celebrities I love. All these things that I love. And when that's the case, they're like, that's fucking lame. You're lame for liking that.
Yeah, right.
But it's something I like. You know?
I've said it before when people used to be like, and people don't actually say that I hate that much anymore. But people like, oh no, it would be the C word,
Contrarian.
I'd be like, I like the most popular things there are.
Like, I mean, my thing to you is that you always like everything. I'm like, I can't trust John. He likes everything. And people are like, he's so contrarian.
Like, I guess I just say everything's awesome.
My thing is more...
Except for what happens in here.
Yeah, except for me. I'm not awesome.
Everything else, I have a good time doing.
I also, I mean, I feel like I've always backed up everything that's popular that I've hated. I've given you the reason why I hate it, you know? Like, you can't possibly hate Derek Jeter. I'm like, I do, and here's all the reasons why. You're just saying that. Like, I'm not just saying it. I laid out the whole fucking reason, you know? So, you know, I'm never, I don't like people who like everything. Yeah, you cannot trust them.
I agree, except for the fact that you're describing what you just described me as.
No. You with certain things, like, well, no, there's a difference between liking the most popular things and liking everything. You know, I also don't like people who like something exclusively. Like, I can like a musical artist, and if they put out a bad song or album, I'll tell you it's bad.
For sure.
You know, I like an actor.
We just ran into this with Bieber when it's like he put out Justice, and we're like, yeah. That's Justin Bieber. The
the other shit
was
not
garbage.
good. Yeah. So I don't like when it's like you. That's what's gone on with politics. That's what's gone on with like the whole world, where it's like you have to like everything associated with the person, the team, the side, the whatever, and it's like it's just not how the world fucking works. It's like you have to like everything about a person. No, it's like you know.
No, I just like most of them.
Yeah, basically, I need to like, you know, maybe one thing about you, you know, hopefully, that's the
and
case.
I hold on to that for dear life, like fucking.
Otherwise, I'd have no friends.
Nah, it's not Rambo. Cliffhanger.
Yes.
Like, just like that
shit.
big fucking strong. Like, all right, I like this one thing. Perfect. Let's go.
But that's where, you know, you run into all this fucking cancel culture nonsense because you have to like, you know, like I said, everything to do with the party, everything to do with the whatever the topic is. And yes, last episode we had what I thought was the funniest cancel culture. The funniest wrinkle in the cancel culture saga, I thought, was Bob Baffert saying that his horse getting popped for PEDs was an example of cancel culture. That has already been surpassed. That has already been, you know, usurped by this Donald Glover story. The Donald Glover, like, Jackie tried to explain it to me. She didn't do a good job, but I thought Donald Glover was getting canceled, and I was like, "Fuck! Like, I love that guy. What did he do? What's the problem now?"
I mean, people
that's
are
not the case.
Kind of trying to because they're just misunderstanding him.
The Donald Glover cancel culture situation is brought to you by Bearbottom. Bearbottom, I can't sing the praises high enough. I am in the process.
Bearbottom is awesome.
I am in the process of like purging my entire house because I'm just running out of space with the amount of clothes. We've talked about this before. The amount of samples we get, the amount of clothes we put out, the amount of sponsor clothes that get sent our way, and then the amount of shit that we buy. I'm just running out of space. So I'm purging everything. And I'm doing a real purge. You know, when you're like, well, I might wear this like one more time before I'm dead, so let's keep it. I'm throwing it all out. And it's basically down to like all my hoodies and then my bare bottom shirts. It's all like that's all I wear at this point.
They're comfy.
The bare
as
bottom
shit.
long sleeves and the bare bottom tees. That material and those colors pop. They're soft. They don't shrink. They're just like solid colors. I got the blue one. Oh, my eyes look great when I wear the blue one.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
You wore it Friday. I noticed.
I'm gonna get just all blue bare bottom clothing shirts forever. I wear the joggers they have too that are like denim but not jeans. They're more comfortable than that. I've got the black and gray flannel button up. I mean, they've got like good clothes. One of my favorite clothing sponsors we've ever had here.
The black and gray flannel is also sick.
Awesome.
It is. They haven't given me anything that I missed. Like, that I was like, I'll get rid of this one. Like everything, I'm like, oh fuck, that's fire.
Which is, you know, I wouldn't know what to like. You could have told me like bare bottom clothing is like a wilderness brand or something like that. But like, it's right up my fucking alley. I love it. So it's the perfect clothing line if you're looking for premium style and comfort at an insane value. And right now you can get free shipping on your first order when you go to bearbottomclothing.com and use code KFC. That's bear like the animal, BEAR, bottomclothing.com, and use code KFC to get free shipping on your first order of those super comfortable threads. So Donald Glover, people are trying to cancel Donald Glover because he's talking about television shows that get canceled?
Okay, so what he said, and these are literally his only tweets of all time. No, never mind. He has a couple of like responses from like 2020. They respond to people, but if you look at his page, he has 3 tweets ever. Like that's it. Like if you go to tweets and replies, he has a few replies.
So 14 hours ago, as we're doing this,
Like he's so not on Twitter that he doesn't even know how a thread works.
Yeah,
you have to start from the bottom and work
wow,
up.
I wish. 0 following, 2.5 million followers, and he doesn't even know how to do it. Saw people on here having a discussion about how tired they were of reviewing boring stuff in TV and film. We're getting boring stuff and not even experimental mistakes because people are afraid of getting canceled. So they feel like they can only experiment with aesthetic. Also good because some of them know they're not that good. So he's talking about television shows, showrunners, writers, actors being afraid to try something new and different because the networks and the studios will cancel
cancel
your
the show.
show. Not that you will be canceled from existence. That is so, like, this is, to me, this is an important moment in this dumb fucking chapter of humanity where maybe, like, if I was one of these people and I jumped on this and was like, rah, 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 cancel, and someone was like, dude, he's talking about TV shows getting canceled.
Like
I would want to crawl.
clearly talking about that.
Yeah, there's
Like-
no way to mix it up. He said, maybe if it was threaded, it would, I don't know, because it's like, I guess if you read that one tweet alone, where it doesn't say TV and film, read that one tweet by itself. Maybe that
see.
could be the problem. It just says, like,
We're getting boring stuff and not even experimental mistakes because people are afraid of getting canceled.
If he could thread, it
Right.
wouldn't be a problem. Learn how to use your Twitter, Donald. If you
look,
read
that-
just that middle one, it does sound kind of like, yeah. He's got 8,000 retweets on the second tweet, but only 1 on the first tweet, so you wouldn't really know. That does read like people are afraid of getting canceled from society.
Yeah, you're right.
When he
You're
meant
right.
that, so I can't knock it too much. My point
It's
was going to
also
be,
up to that one's up to 12,000 now.
yeah. So
Well,
that
people just like,
second
tell
tweet soaring.
Donald's anti-cancel. No, Dante's anti.
TV
I mean,
shows
Dante,
getting
Donald.
ended.
Yeah, Donald is against shows getting canceled that are trying different things.
I bet you there are people out there saying Donald is against cancel culture, and they're going, hell yeah, he is. 45 is against
Yeah.
it. You know, like there's a whole bunch of misunderstandings going on with a guy named Donald saying the word canceled, and all it is an actor talking about TV shows getting ended. I was gonna
And
knock
like, also,
people for
it's
it,
so
but
obvious. Like that's because I think he does have. I think people do say Atlanta is. I haven't seen Atlanta, so I can't really speak with any sense of confidence on it. But I think people do claim it's like really different. And it's like it's weird and interesting and like
that Teddy Perkins thing is wild. He just has this character that's him in like makeup, and he looks like Jigsaw from fucking Saw.
Oh,
And
really?
it's like this weird character that he concocted. Like, yeah, there's a lot of cool like experimental shit that he used there.
And so, like, yeah, obviously he's like, yeah, I can do this, but
Right.
like everyone else is scared of getting their show of losing the like. Let's
he
just drop
just
the
said-
C word of losing their paycheck. Is
if
what
he
he's
just
scared
said
of.
show getting canceled,
Yeah.
like no fucking issue here. But that's like, all right, I can't knock people who misunderstood because that's understandable. But what I can knock is anybody right now who's fucking firing off tweets and quote tweeting it and fighting in the mentions. If I just said like, hey dude, he's talking about TV shows getting canceled, and I had worked myself into a goddamn frenzy fighting on the internet, that would probably be a moment for me to step back and be like, whoa, okay. I like automatically always assume we're talking about the ending of careers and stuff. Like, I gotta relax. I mean, you can't use the. It's interesting when a word like starting in 19, 18, whatever it was, the word cancel just like shifted gears. Like if you look if you look at the Google searches, if you look at the trends, like the word
I wouldn't even
itself,
say it shifted gears. It like jumped off a bridge.
yeah, like
It
prior
was-
to that, cancel means television shows getting canceled. It means like cancel an order.
Yeah, cancel my plans.
Yeah,
Like,
I gotta cancel my I gotta cancel on you. You know, Like, that used to be what cancel means, and now it's like this fucking taboo word, cancel. Oh no. And this motherfucker who's a TV actor just talking about TV shows getting canceled, and he got swept away. It's actually perfect that he's not a Twitter user, because he probably just sent those and fucking went back to the set and was just like, whatever, dude. Because if it was me, I'd be like, let me thread it and be like, you idiots, I'm talking about shows getting canceled, and then it's done. But this runs wild and becomes a hilarious internet story.
And he probably doesn't even know.
Nope. That's, God, that is the life of, like, when you are so removed that, I actually was surprised that Dave responded to me, because he's, like, so off of Twitter now.
Yeah.
And, like, I think when you get...
He's been on a
Rich
lot
enough.
lately
Has
with the
he?
dozen stuff.
Oh. Which? Can we talk? Yeah, we can talk about it.
We can talk about,
I don't like this ruling at all. And I think this ruling is only happening because of Dave.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's bullshit. Did they get a shot at the title?
It is.
They'd have to win like 3 other rounds, and they lost by 6 points.
And their team's record is 2-11, I think.
I mean, God, I'm very happy for
I believe
Clem.
that's the right record.
They were a 12 seed, I know that. So
Yeah.
I know it wasn't great. Right? 12, it was like a play-in or something, I guess. It was.
This was
12.
the play-in. It was Denver versus Uptown Balls for
Right,
the play-in.
12-12 to get in. I'm very happy that Clem gets to go on the magic carpet right here. Just hold on to Davey Portnoy's fucking cape and maybe go to the top. But I mean, if it's anybody else, Jeff D Lowe goes, that dude signed on April 23rd of 2020. So for people who don't know, there was a question, which NCAA basketball program has the most pros? Dave answered UConn. They said no, Memphis. Memphis has 5 players in the NBA. At the time, I think, I don't know, maybe not. I thought at the time they wrote that question, UConn had 4 and Memphis had 5. And in the last couple weeks, another dude signed to like an unsigned, an undrafted type
like
of
those
thing.
10-day
So
deals.
now it went from 4 to 5. So technically, at the time of the airing, Dave was right, and it was at least a tie, and he should have got credit. And they went on to get blown out by 6 questions. People did say that was like a momentum shifter. I didn't see it, but they said that like Uptown Balls was kind of competing. Or no, what's their name?
Yeah,
Ziti.
Ziti's what Dave's on.
Yes,
Yeah.
they said that Ziti was competing, and then they lost all their momentum after that question. But Jeff D Lowe has come out, and this has got to be a nightmare for Jeff. You do all this work, and on the first fucking night, there's a mistake where he's like, fuck, with the boss. Like, so Jeff comes out and says they get whoever wins the title, then Team Ziti gets to just swoop in and play one more match for the championship.
And
that's like, like shit happens. Calls get blown. Like, you know what I mean? And be like, this is unfortunate, but you get bounced in the playoffs because the ref made the wrong call. The Saints get bounced out of the fucking NFC championship.
right.
And fuck it, they don't get to just play the in the Super Bowl. Shit happened. That's some bullshit. I think that's more of a blunder than the question mistake is like they had an easy out. They should have just been like, we wrote it beforehand. That doesn't, I don't know, whatever. Fucking suck my dick. I am the dozen. I'm Jeff D Lowe, and the D stands for dozen, motherfucker.
It is like, I would definitely just be like, look, I'll be like, look, hand up, call was wrong.
It happens.
Everything else stays.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't change anything.
And if that, I feel like to use the
Was
Saints
it Angel
example.
Hernandez did it? No, it wasn't Angel Hernandez. It was
Jim Joyce with
Yeah.
Alejandro Galarraga on the perfect call,
Yes.
the perfect
Right.
game, right? Like, yeah, ruined it. You don't get to just be like, that was now, like with the Saints example, that was like that play stopped them from going to the Super Bowl. That play with the perfect game, I think they should have just given it to him because that was the final out. You can't play like, well, if we got this right, then that would have happened. But when you go on to lose by 6 other questions, that's where the league says we fucked up, and then you ask Clem and those guys about it, and they say, yeah, that was really unfortunate, but we can't complain because we blew it. We fucked up everything else.
Yeah, so it all doesn't come down to one play. Sometimes it does come down to one play.
If that was the final question and that was for the win, then I understand it. But this is bullying. This is internet bullying from the big bad Portnoy, and I wish I was on the other side of this. I would fight this fucking tooth and nail forever. Bullshit. It's drama though. It's good for business probably. It's unfortunate that I'm sure Jeff is like freaking out about it, but it's great for business. Probably gonna get more viewers now because of it.
Who knows? Maybe
even
It
orchestrated.
was already crushing too.
Yeah.
and I think this is gonna get it some attention.
Maybe that's why they did it too. Maybe like, well, we can like get a huge live event. Like they'll play that game live now. And
Yeah.
I would. That's what I would do. I would have a live viewing of that championship, that like second championship game now.
It'd be pretty sick.
And
I don't think any of it's orchestrated or anything like that. But
it's gonna work out.
It's gonna work out just fine.
But if it Ball don't lie. I hope that the current winner just blows them out.
Yeah.
Because if Team Z, and it's tough for me because I hate Dave, but I love Clem. And who's their third?
Eddie.
And Eddie. I love Eddie too. So it's like 2/3 I would love to see get a shot, but I can't in good conscience root for Dave to just skip. I wouldn't even, I swear to God, I don't think I would like take that. If I was on that team, I think I'd be like, that's like cheap.
It is.
You know?
It's pretty outrageous.
I don't know.
Pretty outrageous.
I would feel like I don't know if there's another way there's no other way to do it, but I mean, I would not want to be like, just let me pass through the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, the Final 4, and the championship and go to a different championship. Drama in the dozen. Wow. So anyway, yeah, big drama in the dozen world, big drama in the TV world with Donald Glover. Also going on right now, I think I would have to say the talk of TV. Well, I think Invincible had its moment, but now that season's over. I think Mare of Easttown is like the show right now on HBO. Kate Winslet, murder mysteries, the Sunday night 9 o'clock slot. 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. I hate that.
Yeah, it is.
I want to go to
late.
bed, bro.
It's like I remember people were asking me like what time's it on. I was like probably 8, maybe 9.
I think when
And
they
then
do
when-
like heavy like murder assault type shit, and then
But there
nudity.
really hasn't been any.
No,
yet.
like the first one that was really about.
But there was
it,
a dead body in it, but like
Yeah.
I mean nothing that you, bro. I was watching Bones this morning.
I was gonna say you can catch that on basic cable.
dude, it was one of the most horrific episodes I've ever seen in my life. Kevin.
Wait. You watched an episode of Bones today? How many episodes of Bones have you watched in your life?
Not that many. Not
Over
that
under
many.
10.5 episodes.
It's probably a great over under call.
You watched 11 episodes of Bones? That's
It's-
fucking hilarious.
My girlfriend really liked it, so like sometimes
the classic. I wasn't watching. My girlfriend.
I'll just come into the room and it'll just be on. Dude,
Sure.
this episode was from
Same reason why you wear thongs too. My girlfriend likes them. They're just around sometimes.
Funny
Just pop 'em.
surprise. Bro, this is I gotta tell you this episode. It was insanity. This is from like they're using flip phones. They showed a highlight on TV. They were in a bar or something like that. This is LeBron's first run on the Cavs. This is a long time ago, this episode. And these bodies were so fucked up. Like
Dead bodies like chopped up and shit.
Kevin, like skin ripped off them, and fucking their eyes cut out, and like
man.
they were tied up, and their arms were dislocated in their sockets, so the dude could twist them until they popped.
This is on like TNT,
This
right?
was on just TNT, Kevin. So yeah, a girl with a bullet hole in her head really
Not a
isn't
big
that
deal.
horrific.
Not a big deal.
We're on fucking a streaming service. We're waiting until 10 p.m. Daddy's got to go to work in the morning.
Put the 9 o'clock slot in. Fucking crazy.
That was 7 p.m. on TNT. On HBO, why don't you get some fucking balls?
For real. Stop being pussies, TNT.
I mean, it
or
was-
HBO. But it's the big. John called it. He said by week 4, episode 4, everyone will be jumping in, which just seems to be the case. There's only 7 episodes, so now it's like a whodunit where like everybody is related and everybody could have done it, and everybody talks fucking ridiculously because it takes place in Pennsylvania, so they all have that Delco accent. And SNL did a skit, Murder Dirter, that's pretty fucking accurate because I always forget that Kate Winslet's English too, so her doing the Delco thing is like 2 accents removed, and she does it pretty well, I think. I think a lot of people from Delco are kind of like, this is ridiculous. We don't really talk like this. And it's like, yes, you fucking
Yeah,
do.
that's what Lou texted me. Like, he's like, do I really sound like this? I was like, yeah,
Yes,
exactly. like this.
absolutely. But I think what's 2 things is that everybody seems to have it like heavy, thick, which I guess makes sense. But like it's not everyone in New York is forget about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, but some people aren't. And 2, I don't know if they're trying, but they say phone, home, hoagie, family. They say all of those words like 1,000 times. I mean, I think it was this week where they're like, or I think it's a preview for next week where they're eating cheesesteaks and hoagies, and it's like you don't need to slap that in there.
I didn't see that.
So, but SNL did a skit they called it Murder Dirter, and the accents are unbelievable. SNL right
He's a
now
ying and a
is
cheesesteak.
the #1 comedy, 18 to 49, not streaming, so just cable and basic. What do they call it? Like broadcast and network cable.
Mm-hmm.
Number one in 1849 for the first time in its history. Technically, this is the best season in SNL's history.
Really?
Isn't that? I mean, I guess.
Well, I think that's because there's nothing else on.
Right. It's like, yeah,
Like,
everyone's
and-
watching streaming, and the only time you would, literally, the only time sports, and if there's an SNL guest, I will probably. I didn't even tune in for it, but I might. Like when Chappelle and Bill Burr were on, I did tune in. But when.
But also, I think it's even more so than that. It's like literally nothing else was filming because of COVID.
Oh,
so
true,
like shows
true.
are just
Oh,
like
that's
there
true.
just aren't new shows.
That's a great point. So that must be it, because I was thinking like when they had Sandler and Farley, but also when they had all those, like there was Seinfeld and Friends and all these monsters. Like what's the show
yeah, but
right
like
now?
Seinfeld wasn't on. Those shows weren't on Saturday nights. That was also with the back in the day when guess what? You didn't see a show. You
It's a
just didn't
wrap.
see that episode of
Yeah.
that show.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
like,
A Saturday night, like that's a tough.
you weren't spending your time Saturday nights catching up on like the Seinfeld
That's
you missed.
true.
Like, you didn't.
Yeah.
That was it. You don't get to watch it.
Yeah, a lot of people were sitting at home on Saturday nights this year just watching SNL too. What's like the show right now? Like, you know, Big Bang Theory was always that show that everyone hated, but it was number one.
I think it's probably Young Sheldon.
That's even worse. At least Big Bang Theory, I was like, I
don't
respect
know,
it.
that's just my
But you know what I mean?
guess.
Like, there is
Yeah.
no, I can't think of off the top of my head. What is the big NBC, CBS, ABC show right now?
Mom's pretty big.
Oh,
Anna,
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
Anna Faris,
Faris.
Allison Janney.
Oh
Yeah.
my heavens! If
Actually,
that's number one, then console TV.
I think Anna Faris bounced actually.
I feel like, you know, there was always there was even like what's like the I guess This Is Us. No, yeah, This Is Us was like the big
Yeah.
family one. So I couldn't name you like any other shit.
yeah.
I mean, that's
I think Blue Bloods is still. Well, that's not
Yeah.
a comedy, but Blue
Yeah.
Bloods is still
Blue
like.
Bloods is like the cop thing, and then there's
Yeah.
a 50 million NCISs and all that shit, right? God, it's bleak.
They're,
out there
you
for
see, they're doing
TV.
CSI
No.
Las Vegas. It's just that was the one they started with.
I was gonna say they haven't done Las Vegas yet?
CSI was just CSI Las Vegas,
Yeah.
and now they're doing CSI Las Vegas.
That's absurd. It was just called CSI, and then they can
Yeah.
add the. So it feels new. It's like they just repackaged it.
They're even using the same actors, Kevin. It's just they're just
That's
saying it's a new
amazing.
show.
Good for them.
Yeah, I do respect
That's
that.
a hustle right there. Do you know that? Did you see that the Raiders are putting in a fucking nightclub in their end zone?
No.
An 11,000 square foot nightclub in the end zone while the game's played. You can get bottle service and there's a DJ. I'm all about it.
That's fucking sick.
Like, you know when you don't want to leave the tailgate? I like to tailgate. Sometimes I'm like, do we have to go in? Can
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just fucking like keep out, drilling? And it's like, I'll go in for the club. Could you imagine? I mean, there's gonna be so many fights and shit.
It's gonna
in a
be
Las Vegas
also
Raiders
insanely
nightclub.
expensive.
Oh, forget about it. But I think it would be cool. Like, there's a football game going on, and you're like, I don't fucking care. Sparklers are coming out. You're like making out with some shit.
Imagine you're
like,
fucking I don't know, a quarterback. And like, you're like just trying
You're
to
trying
throw,
to score.
You're
like,
trying to throw a
see your
touchdown into the
receivers, like,
fucking
running
end
routes,
zone,
and it's
just like
you're throwing a fade, and there's a girl with a bottle service, like, hey, DP 45, Dave will be partying in that dumbass club, no doubt, no doubt.
I wanted to say something, by the way, while Mare of Easttown is up. I have a theory, and I don't know why it's gonna play in.
In the show,
And
a theory for the show.
It just can't be right. But there's something I think to the daughter.
Whoa! Spoilers, bro. Spoilers, bro. Can't talk about it. Spoilers, bro.
It is. First of all, anyone who was actually thinking that, go fuck yourselves.
I guarantee we probably lost listeners.
But she doesn't look like she got shot in the head.
I agree. I thought she got like hit with
It
something.
looked like she got bludgeoned.
Is that an entry wound? Because if you get shot in the head, your fucking head's like blown off. But maybe it went in
But
the front, and
it
it was
was
just a
even
little,
like- it was
like a
too
slit,
long,
Though. It wasn't
yeah.
a hole. It was like a slit.
And then there's all of the kids are like, we didn't hear a gunshot. I think she just didn't get shot.
I would be down with that.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what.
I thought
but
that she
like,
got hit in the head with something when I first saw
It absolutely looked like a bludgeon.
It looked like a gash.
100%.
Yeah. But
And
maybe there was another, like maybe there was a bludgeon, but like over here was a headshot or something.
I
Maybe we were
guess
just looking at
maybe.
the wrong thing. But
like,
yeah, I'm with you on that. I was like,
There's some because there's like she's asked all the kids, did you hear a gunshot? And everyone's like, no. So like,
so why?
I
did
guess
they get
that
the
would-
gunshot though.
I guess they did the fucking. I would imagine at some point now.
Oh, but also they found the bullets, in the tree and shit.
Yeah, but I just don't think I think there's a different bullets or something. I hope at this point a medical examiner is taking a look at her. But when
Look, that does
does not look like a gunshot. That's just not a gunshot. That doesn't look like an exit wound.
That was the first thought I had on when they said like, you know, she was shot. I was like, I must have just looked at it wrong.
Yeah.
What about like in that nose? Is that a fucking gunshot? Like an entry wound in the nostril?
That looks like just a bloody again,
nose,
so like you got the shit kicked out of you.
That's such. I mean, that would be stupid if they were like, oh well, you know, sorry, Mayor, there wasn't actually a gunshot.
5 episodes, we just let you think like that. I mean, that's just not a gunshot.
I also wonder. I would love to talk to a real cop. Let's get a real cop on the show, a real detective. Like that scene where she like spots a ricochet on the roof and then follows it to a tree trunk. Like, I guess that stuff's real. I guess like I just think it's very impressive that cops show up, especially back in the day. Certainly now it's like DNA and technology and shit, cameras everywhere. But back in the day, you'd roll up and there's a dead person and you're like, all right, I'm gonna look at everything here and put the puzzle together. That's wild. Where it's like, let me find this thread or that hair and like this footprint or wait a minute, the door was locked, so it had to come from here, and the only way you could get in there was if your neighbor had the key, you know, all that shit. I'd walk up and I'd be like, I don't fucking know what happened. It happened 12 hours ago. It's over.
Those cops must have,
made shit up, right?
Must have hit below the Mendoza.
Yeah, like, they must have just been like, well, who lives next door? It was them.
Yeah, like where's the closest black person live?
Absolutely, 100%. That's like the old Chappelle skit. Sprinkle some crack on him. Get the hell out of here, Johnson.
Like it was. John Mulaney's got a great joke about that, where he's like, imagine like just before DNA existed, and then like some cops, detectives in there, and a police, a plainclothes guy comes up to him and says, detective, we found a bunch of the killer's blood in the other room. Gross. Clean it up.
Yeah, that's icky. Yeah. What are we going to do with that?
He's like, no, back to my hunch.
Speaking of Chappelle, he was on Rogan and was like, promoting his new podcast. You'd love this. This is maybe an idea we should steal. So he's got a new podcast with Mos Def and Talib Kweli, which is weird, by the way, because I think if there's one person, usually I think celebrity podcasts don't work, Did you just dig in there? And
No, it was my podcast.
Oh, I thought you were just no. I would have respected it after the fucking week we've had here. Joe Rogan was explaining it because he's already listened to it. He was like, I like it because it's produced and there's music clips and it's like it's not just like a conversation, which I just wouldn't call it a podcast then. I would call that something else because I think when you listen to something that's like a documentary feel and you were expecting, I would get excited for a Dave Chappelle podcast where it's like, just rip it, Dave. I want to hear your thoughts. And if it's like there's a producer chopping it up, like that could be cool. I just don't think of it as a podcast. They're all a specific and similar certain length because they're meant to be on vinyl. Podcasts on vinyl.
Oh, really?
Which I think is more of a, I don't think there's many people who would like, you listen to it at the gym, you listen to it on the pod, you're not putting down the record. Unless, though, like I said, they are more of like I would call that like an audio experience or something about them. And I also think it would be very cool if it's like Mos Def, Talib Kweli, and Dave Chappelle, like their new episode is featuring Joe Rogan, and they like take a picture together, and then like the album cover, then it's like a piece of memorabilia. You know what I mean? If you could buy that, they all took a picture in the studio, and that's on your vinyl, and then you listen to it, and then you make money. But I don't know. That's it's cool, but I also don't think, hey, did you hear the new Chappelle podcast? Like, you hear the new episode? Nah, my phonograph is at home. I haven't fucking listened to it yet. I mean, you can listen to it elsewhere, but he said they are intended to be listened to on record.
That's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
That makes sense, given some things I know about the show. That I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
They also, he bluntly was like, this is not about money. This is not about like we're trying to go to the top of the charts. He's just like, I am very good friends with Yassine Bey and Talib Kweli, and they're well traveled, well spoken, well educated, and I just like they're my friends. I want to talk to them. So like they're just doing all
Might
sorts
as well
of cool
make
shit.
a couple of bucks.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Like,
I'm sure. I mean, everything is about business, but I also think like if they said
if
to
it
him,
was
like,
really not about money, you just talk to your friends.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, but I could see those guys being like thinking they're like doing a service almost. Like, no, we got to get like our thoughts out to the people and like encourge discussion. But yeah, when people say it's not about money, it's like, well, it's a little bit.
Yeah,
about money.
dude.
Like I would even say what we do is not about the money, but I want the money.
Like, I really like talking to you, Kevin.
Yeah.
If they didn't pay me, I wouldn't talk to you this much.
Yeah, I agree. We certainly wouldn't just talk for 3 fucking hours straight in the middle of the afternoon. But I mean, I think we're like a paradox. I always tell people, I'm like, I am 100% about the money. Like, I will sell out. I'll do whatever if the price is right. But then also, like it doesn't actually motivate me. What motivates me, like if we have a good episode or if it goes to the top of the charts or something gets a lot of views or people like that's what
true.
motivates me.
That is true,
So it's
yeah.
like what motivates me is doing the content and what motivates me is the attention. What I like is the money. So what I am is shallow. Add it all up. What do you got?
So
a shallow piece of shit. Am I the asshole?
I thought we were gonna go with sociopath. Like,
Yep. Yeah, that word's thrown around too often, but what I described there is to a T.
what I like is the attention. What gets my dick hard is the money.
I just thought you were going to say entertainer.
No, well, that too. I guess they're all that
it
way.
is 100% the only like time I'm like, all right, that was worth it. Is not worth it, but you know what I mean. Like the only time where I'm like, hell yeah,
We
I feel,
did it.
I
We
feel
did
good about that
something. Yeah.
is when people tweet like that was funny. Like, I really like that episode. Like I don't even know what the money is. I don't know what we make.
I guess
but-
if it was something like if we somehow got paid based on that if a podcast was really funny and that meant like a bigger paycheck or something, that would be there's no direct correlation with money, whereas there is a direct correlation with the audience reacting.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
So I'm an instant sort of thing. Like,
Yeah,
you
it
tweeted it was
happens
funny
today.
and all I need to see is like the first tweet of the day. If someone says it's funny, I'm like, that was a great episode. Someone says it was bad, I'm like, fuck, it sucked. Nothing else matters. Am I the Asshole? Today is brought to you by SimpliSafe. It's the award-winning home security system. It's engineered with the latest technology so that you and your family and your loved ones and your belongings and all your important things that, you know, I don't know, you must be rich. Dave can set up his Miami mansion with the SimpliSafe because we've said this before. We don't even own things. I'm trying to get things out of my house. Come rob me. You can steal all my clothes except for my bare bottom. That's it. Take everything else. But if you've got stuff that you want protected from a burglar or from a fire or from an earthquake or a hurricane or a typhoon or a volcano eruption.
Yeah.
I don't know. If a volcano erupts around your house, you're probably fucked. Probably not much SimpliSafe
No,
can do.
Simply can help you there. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame them. But they have award-winning 24/7 service with police and fire and EMTs so they can cover all this stuff. They have advanced technology so they know, like, if your kid's playing ball in the house and they break a window versus, like, a burglar breaking a window, they know. I don't know how they know, but they know. Set up the cameras, set up the alarms and the sirens and the sensors all on your own so you don't have anybody come in your house. You can set it up in, like, 15, 20 minutes, and a half hour. You got everything up and running, everything's safe and sound, and you can go month to month with the contract. You don't get looped into anything long-term. None of that bullshit, hidden fees or anything. Everything is just month to month, good to go, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Right now, you can get a 60-day risk-free trial plus a free HD security camera when you go to simplisafe.com/KFC radio. That's SimpliSafe with an I, SIMPLI, safe.com/KFC radio to customize your system, get that risk-free trial, and the free security camera. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not paying for my girlfriend, 28 female, I am a 27-year-old male, to come on my family's vacation even though I could easily afford to? My girlfriend of almost 3 years just bought a new condo that we recently moved into. She works a full-time job and for the past year has also worked a part-time job to save for the down payment and other maintenance costs. She bought it about 2 months ago, then had to buy a washer-dryer, fix a plumbing issue, etc. My family goes on a yearly trip to my home country, Japan. We have relatives there. My girlfriend could not afford to go because of all the recent expenses related to the condo. My older brother was very curious as to why she's not coming on the trip. When I told she could not, I'm assuming when I told him she could not afford it, he asked, "But you can pay for her to come, so why not do it?" He knows I have a lot of money saved since I lived with our parents till I was 26, rent-free. He also advises me on investments that have done well. I told him it is not my job to provide a vacation for her, that she is an adult. He was shocked and thought it was a disgrace that she's worked 2 jobs to provide a place for us to live, yet I could not provide for a vacation for her in return. He even offered to pay for her to come, although I think he said he just said this to piss me off. So am I the asshole?
I mean,
this guy's an asshole, right?
yeah, you're definitively the asshole.
I mean, there's like, I just read the headline. I thought maybe there's something interesting here. Pretty open and shut case, Johnson. Like, back it up. We can go home here. Now, if there was no, like, I live and you pay for this, and, you know, if she just had her own place and you had your own place, and I mean, even then,
I think
don't
if she
know.
was like, if she was
Also, but trips to Japan are probably fucking like 10 grand, right? I mean, it's probably a lot of money to get return flights.
I mean, I
and-
bet they're staying with family.
but they're staying with family, so they probably
right?
make
Like,
it back. Yeah,
I bet-
it's
I bet
probably
it's
pretty
not that
affordable.
crazy.
But the putting over the top is like I worked 2 jobs to buy the place that you live in, and I pay the maintenance fees, and I did the down payment, and I fix all the problems. Like, what does that do? Bring the toilet paper? He's the guy who shows up to the party with a 30 rack. And like, he shows up to the summer house with a 30 rack. Being like, so I can crash here all summer, right? Like, fuck that, dude.
It is. Yeah, it would be one thing if like it was a lot of I can't think of the word right now. Not inappropriate, but like just irresponsible spending.
Yeah.
And
if it was like, yeah, well, you can't go on our vacation because you bought a fucking Lamborghini and, you know, you went on 10 other trips and you buy fucking Louboutin shoes
right.
and you live above your means. But it's like she's working her fingers to the bone for a roof over your head, over your head.
To replace the water heater. There was something else.
Yeah,
like,
the plumbing issue. It's like you get warm showers at night because of me, motherfucker. To just be like, it ain't my responsibility. It's like, Jesus
It's not my
Christ.
job to pay for her to go on vacations. It's her job to pay to me to live. And guess what? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's time.
This guy's got a good racket going.
Maybe it's time to start fucking putting that shoe on the other foot. Start being like, all right, you know what? I'll let you pay for me to live now for a while.
God, you know what I was thinking? I haven't not paid for something in so long.
What do you mean?
Like, so I went out to dinner the other night and I paid, and the girl I was with, like, was slick with the card. She had planned on paying and she was kind of mad about it. And always in my case, I just, like, the offer is fine for me, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like, but goddamn, I'm talking about like paying for my kids and shit. So stuff that I have to pay for. I'm not saying that.
Things I go to jail if I don't pay for.
Things that I willingly brought into this world that I have to pay for. But I was just like, fuck, I pay for so many goddamn things. The amount, everybody does this. I'm not saying it's just a me thing. It was just like, I was at the grocery store, swipe. I was at I had to buy clothes for them, swipe. I swipe, put in my, over the phone, put in my card. Everything's just like, this little fucking card gets run, dude. It's like, bills, man, bills.
It's fucking...
Life is expensive, man.
Life sucks.
I had so many people in my mentions with that little back and forth with me and Dave, which sucks because that was a funny back and forth, you know? Dave, like I said, the rich boy, poor boy thing that we've always done, which has just gotten more and more realistic as time's gone on. I'm talking about the Hyundai. He's talking about, you're an accountant. It's like, that's the characters, the real life, but that's the fun of it. And I got so many people being like, well, if you didn't get divorced, you wouldn't have to do this and that. And they're talking about things they don't know. And it's like, well, you're just ruining this. You're ruining all of this.
Yeah, I was having fun this morning.
Yeah, now it's like, now I have to sit here. Now I want to reply to you and explain how alimony actually works, you dumb fucking assholes. Like, nobody has alimony anymore. But the real answer is like, no, it's just that life is fucking expensive as shit.
It's
Around here at least, it's like if we got paid what we got paid and what we should have done is like got the Barstool salaries, the East Coast salaries, and just like moved to Ohio and been like, we're gonna record from here, and just lived like goddamn kings.
Chappelle's neighbors.
Yeah, right. We would be hanging out with Dave. But it's like, yeah, around here, if Caitlin has a nice apartment. Other than that, like we're pretty normal lives, and it's like hard to fucking keep up. I don't know how anybody is. You got to be like Dave money to be really like luxurious, to be like comfortable. It's like, fuck.
You can't go out. Like, you just can't walk outside your house and spend less than $100.
Yeah, it's just like just the cost of being out in public.
If you're going outside, bare minimum, you're spending $100.
Yeah,
bare minimum.
If you're buying anything, if you're just going for a walk, that's the only way you don't spend money. Otherwise,
dude, I remember
if you walk into a building somehow, some way, you're paying $100.
There was a time, and this was a little while ago, so like it was. I guess people probably would have been like quicker with a sick brag comment, but I was like, yeah, like. It's like, I think I said something along the lines of like, it's as regular as a $100 bar tab. Right. And people are like, whoa, like, look at John. Every time he goes out, he spends $100 at the bar. He gets drinks. He's cool. Like, $100
it's a round. It's not even like, that's not even the night. That's like 2 martinis and an app.
As regular as $100. And this, I think I still lived in Boston at the time. Like, that's just Boston, New York, doesn't really matter. It's going to be $100 for
ever.
But just you can't go into it, like you said, you can't go into a building and not spend $100.
Yeah.
If you want to sit in your house and read, you can save money that way.
Sure.
But if you want to go out and be in public,
I also I guess it all to me, that mo money, mo problem shit really does make sense. And like I've always said, when I was just an accountant and splitting a little bit of the Barstool money was when I was like rolling in it, because I had no bills. Like bills, in my experience, if you go the traditional route and get married, have kids, all that shit, your bills stack up faster then your money grows. You know what I mean? So that's not a sustainable fucking model at all, you know? But I remember, you know, there was a time where like if we would go out and there would be like a $500 bill because everybody was putting drinks on, and I would just be the asshole. It was like, I got it. And you guys get this is pre-Venmo days, children, where it was like you just had to hope that the next time your friends would get the bill, and they probably don't, you know? But, you know, like that used to be, and I guess I've changed. Like it's not bar bills anymore. It's like tuition bills and things. But like what used to be, you know, I was like, oh, fuck, it was $500 last night. Now I'm like, it was only $500. Yes, like easy, you know? It's just, life is fucking pricey, dude. All right, back to Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Am I the asshole for disinviting a coworker for perpetually spoiling things? Almost every Friday, my coworkers and I go out to get drinks and socialize, probably for about $500. More often than not, it's an open invitation for the entire office, and even people outside of our team will join. We typically have a great time, but only when Logan, 20s male, doesn't show. Logan means well, but is easily excitable and engages people in conversations they're not interested in. The worst of his behavior happens to do with spoiling movies, shows, games, etc. A few weeks ago, I mentioned that I had tickets to see the new Mortal Kombat movie over the weekend. Logan lit up and immediately responded, "You'll love the scene where spoiler happens and when spoiler shows up." I was bummed and walked away without continuing the conversation. Later that night, another coworker, when discussing a TV show that had episodes, she was a few episodes behind in, Logan blurts out, "I can't believe that beloved character dies in episode whatever number." Amy, who had obviously not watched it yet, went silent and turned away. Logan laughed and said, "I just can't help it. I get too excited." None of us were amused. A few days later, in our team-only group chat, someone brought up Logan's tendency to spoil things and admitted that they wish he weren't invited to things because of it. Multiple people agreed and began to list everything Logan had spoiled for them. With this in mind, I didn't add Logan to the email.
This guy wakes up every morning just chooses violence.
He chooses spoilers. So yeah, they don't invite him to anything. He noticed he never got an invite and began to ask around. As I was the one who wrote the email, he eventually directed it to me. It keeps going on and on, but I mean, you get the point. He pulled me aside. As I left for lunch, let me know I excluded him by mistake. Rather than try to play it off, I told him the truth. Logan was immediately defensive, claiming it's not his fault. How about this? I told him that if he swore he'd be more conscious about this habit, he could join us Friday. He came, and lo and behold, he spoiled the plot of another movie I wanted to say. I love this guy. Out of frustration, I called him a dick and told him, I'm so happy I read the second slide here. Out of frustration, I called him a dick and told him that this is exactly why no one socializes with him. He left soon, and even though what I said was rude, everyone was thinking it. I felt like an asshole. Edit part 1. A few weeks ago, we had lunch catered, and everyone joined in the break room. A coworker had brought a book to read. Logan saw the cover, pulled up the Wikipedia, and read the entire synopsis aloud, including a big twist ending. I asked him why would he do that, and he responded, "Why not?" Edit number 2. The book was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Okay. I started out on this guy's side, and now, I don't know. You can't be...
Bro, I don't know if you can spoil Gone Girl.
You know what you can't spoil? Mortal Kombat. We know, the point was probably you're going to love the part when Scorpion shows up and kills Sub-Zero. That's fucking Mortal Kombat, man. It's like, that's the fucking, the characters already. You know what happens. We've been, staunchly anti-spoiler culture where it's like my thing has always been, I do not cater my conversations, my discussion, my social life to your schedule. You haven't seen the episode yet? Fucking sorry, man. That's usually when we're talking about social media and stuff. If someone says to me, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet," I'm not going to just power through and say it. That's insanity.
We're talking about live tweeting Mare of Easttown, basically.
Yeah.
That's what we get defensive about.
We talked about The Dozen. It was like, can you live tweet the episodes of The Dozen? It's like, because fucking watch it, and if not, you stay off Twitter. That's your problem. You can't watch the show when it airs.
If you are a person who's like, I'm only on episode 2 of Mare of Easttown.
Let me tell you about 3.
I'm like, can I tell you about 4 real quick? No! I wouldn't do that.
If someone says, I'm reading... Gone Girl, I agree, is silly, but it's like, I'm reading the book.
That was a massive motion picture that is on TBS every single Sunday.
If you tell me I'm reading XYZ book and I'm just like, did you know she dies in the end? Wikipedia said, that is excessive. that guy, you know what also? This guy sucks in other ways. So beyond spoilers, the guy who's like, I can't help it, I just get too excited. If you're that way about ruining TV shows for people, you probably suck in many more ways too.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's so bad. I am kind of back on his side again, where I'm like, just keep going, spoil everything.
Logan's got a thing. It's just ruining everyone's day.
You know what he needs to do next? You know what he needs to do next? He's got to spoil baby genders. He's got to find a coworker and be like, it's a girl. I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to know.
Break into her doctor's office. Like, I got to keep this bit going. Everyone knows Logan. They know when Logan's coming. So is bad news.
Imagine. Oh, I would love. See, part of me almost wants to have that reputation. Be like, I got your biopsy results. It's cancer. I'm so excited. We've said many times before, having news is always exciting. Being the guy to break the news, even if it's bad, you feel that power over someone.
Dude,
you know?
the fucking
R.I.P. Tony Stark. The
looking up of the I can't decide which is worse. The one I think it's just being like, I mean, the Wikipedia one is obviously
the Wikipedia one's crazy,
insane.
But the Friday party after being told you spoil another movie, that's lunacy. Also, what do these people only talk about fucking movies and TV shows? Like, Jesus Christ. That's great,
seen
though.
all that shit.
Yeah, this guy, I want to hang out with him. This guy, I kind of like Logan. I kind of want to hang out with Logan and try to spoil things for me.
Would very much enjoy talking to Logan, probably once.
Yeah, one time
but
only.
I just gotta see it in action.
This is like a episode of a television show. We gotta write this down and flesh this out into like a pilot. The guy who only spoils things.
It is
He's the greatest spoiler of all time. All he does is spoil. Imagine. Logan the spoiler.
Logan spends his entire Monday through Thursday evening watching every movie. Just hoping.
Not for the entertainment. Just hope to run into conversation,
Hoping at some point on Friday night they'll bring it up.
I honestly think he might be orchestrating this because we're like, how could they possibly be talking about it? I bet you he walks in and he's like, have you seen Mortal Kombat? Plants the seed.
Yeah.
They start talking about it. He comes back around. He dies in the end. I mean, it's almost impossible to have this
Very
many opportunities.
subliminally lets him know.
Yeah.
Just like, he plans it all throughout the week at work.
Yes.
Where he just kind of like.
Have you seen Justin Willem, that magician we've had on the show? He does
Yeah.
magic. Where he does that thing where when you see the outtakes, he subliminally is mentioning, I don't know if it's real or not. So you haven't seen
I
this.
haven't seen it, no.
So he says, like, think of an actor. It's Tom Hanks. And they're like, oh my God, it was. And then they show the outtakes, and they have like a 10-minute conversation where he's like, yeah, I'm from Philly. I'm from Philadelphia. I grew up a little bit of a castaway, but but then, I went, but then I was a big fish in a small pond. And he says all of these fucking titles of Tom Hanks movies. And he'll tell you that it triggers you to think Tom Hanks. What I think happens is you say, think of an actor, and like 9 times out of 10, you're going to say Tom Hanks, and you just cut out the ones that didn't say it. And then you have a conversation where you subliminally drop all his titles. But maybe that's what fucking Logan does here. He just spends all week talking about Gone Girl and all this shit, all the things he can spoil. And then he's like, now's my time. My master plan has come together at happy hour where I ruin lives.
That would be. It's almost the story of someone who grew up with the kind of brain that would birth an evil villain.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a supervillain,
and he's
using his powers for like good.
He's just like not very successful.
That's almost the skit. That's like the opposite of the Rock skit on SNL, where like all the evil villains are doing like relatively harmless things.
I haven't seen this one.
Yes, you have. Remember when The Rock plays like the evil?
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like I killed children with a laser beam.
Yeah, yes.
They're like, we
yes.
shrink we shrink the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, well, I went a different way with it. Yeah, exactly.
He's the other guy. He's like, I'm just here to spoil your day a little bit.
Right.
That's great. The most mundane evil villain of all time, Logan. What's your superpower? I spoil shows. I love it.
I just know on Monday morning to start putting it into your head that we're gonna watch Mortal Kombat at some point this week, and I'm gonna tell you about it.
I will say, because part of the game here, when you play Am I the Asshole, one of the things of the game is like you decide who and what and how much is the asshole. I will also say the guy who complains about getting Mortal Kombat spoiled for you is an asshole.
Yeah.
Because even, like I said, you basically know the plot, but even if someone just walked right to my face and spoiled that before I watched it, I'd be like, well, that's okay. It's just Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I'll watch it anyway for the blood and the
I'm
violence.
watching it for the blood and violence.
Right.
I'm not watching
and
it
the
for the twist
nostalgia.
ending.
Yeah,
Sure.
I wasn't watching it for the plot points. All right, voicemail time. It's brought to you by Kraft Mayo. I remember vividly the time that I saw Mayo Man eating that tub of mayo.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like etched into my brain. It's up there with
On a bus, right?
Yeah,
There's a Mayo eating going down.
I thought
on
there
a
was
bus.
one like at a game though,
Yeah,
right?
I think it was at a baseball game.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
there's-
just sitting in the crowd. I think there's a couple in my mind. There's the popcorn guy who's like,
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
And
The
there's
one
the
in the
guy
rain.
just eating yes,
Yeah, yeah.
sitting like all alone, basically hammered at the bottom. But Mayo guy just with like a spatula, just shoveling it in his mouth. He was Mayo Man. Yeah, here he is, Mayo Man. I mean, he was the face of Mayo. He's got a fucking I don't even know what kind of device that is. Look at him, just spoonfuls of mayo like a goddamn king. And now you can be the next face of Kraft Mayo. Mayo Man is an open. The title is vacant, and you can become the face of Mayo and get a Kraft Mayo endorsement, which is just a great play on words that rolls off the tongue easily. Mayo endorsement, you can get $10,000 and become the face of Kraft Mayo everywhere. I personally, I think we'll have to do our next top 5. We're gonna do top 5 condiments.
Okay.
Because I think mayo is a serious contender for number 1. When you think about, you obviously can put it on a sandwich, but you mix it with some ketchup and you got your Thousand Island. You get your special sauce out of it. You get, you can put it in all sorts of other dips and cheese dips, cream cheese. All these things have like a little bit of mayo in it.
It's as versatile as they get, for sure.
I mean, it's
it can
way up there.
play in any league.
Yeah, it's the most versatile in the game. I feel like it could be a number 1 overall pick. We'll find out next week.
Find out on Tuesday.
But we'll also find out over the next few weeks who is going to be the next Mayo Man or woman, and who's going to win that Kraft Mayo endorsement, where you get the $10,000 and you become the face of Mayo by submitting your video. So you got to follow along on Twitter. Follow at Kraft Mayo. And you follow, Real Kraft Mayo, excuse me. So follow at Real Kraft Mayo. Submit your videos on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram on why you should be the next face of Kraft Mayonnaise. Bring that passion, that originality, and personality, and you can be the next Mayo Man and win that money. So follow at Real Kraft Mayo and go get yourself some delicious Kraft Mayo. Voicemails, let's go.
Would you rather be a young former president of the United States, so you get elected at age 30, and now you're either 40 or 44, whatever, if you want to be a 2-term president, and you don't have to live through all the stress of actually being president, but you get all the memories, you get all the secrets, you get all the power, and you get all the perks of being a former president, like the Secret Service and going on book deals or whatever, or be a 60-year-old billionaire?
I don't think anyone's ever asked a question about the presidency with such little knowledge of the presidency.
Well, wait. So wait, he was first of all saying you're not you don't live the term, but you just get to pick up after the fact. Is that what he's saying? Because he said you don't live the stress of it. It's like, well, if you're the president, you live the stress of it. So I'm assuming that we just get to snap our fingers and all of a sudden we become a 44-year-old president, ex-president. That's what he's saying?
Yeah.
So
but he said you become president at 30.
You gotta be 35, and then 2-term president somehow gets you to 44.
It's 40 or 44. He said.
Yeah.
I don't.
No. So let's say you're 35. You do 2 terms, so you end up 43, right?
Yes.
So you get to be 43. You get the Secret Service. You get to do the book deals. You get to be called Mr. President. Probably do SNL a few times. That's actually a cool thing to somehow be president. Ex-president, because I'm always like, who the fuck would want to be president? But being ex-president,
a young
is cool.
ex-president,
because even look at George Bush, George W. was dude was like a war criminal, and now all of a sudden he's so cute.
Yeah,
So when you get done with it, it's great. So that's a cool thing.
I would argue Obama's got one of the best lives going right now.
Absolutely. He could shit into the microphone and
chimes
get a
in when he wants.
$50,000 fee. Yeah,
because then you also have, if you just don't feel like talking about it anymore,
right.
You also have that we don't comment on former presidents.
Right. You get that.
Our brethren is tight. We don't comment on former presidents.
But when you do talk, it's whoa, you can't just wait. So when you want to write the book, you want to do the speech, you get your fee, you get your money, all that shit. So that's cool. But the other one, I think he just said
60-year-old billionaire.
Oh, 60.
Yeah, no, pass.
Okay.
I'm definitely doing the president.
Yeah, okay.
60
is too much. What about 50?
50-year-old billionaire, I probably gotta take that.
Yeah, because that's like Dave.
Yeah.
In a few years, Dave will be pushing 50, and Dave's still gonna be having a fucking great life.
But also I don't know,
because then you're 40. I don't know. 44 versus 60s, and you're a 60-year-old billionaire, you're probably like as young and healthy as 44.
But you can just do more. I think you can make as much money as you want as a former president.
Probably.
Like
yeah.
it's easy.
And that kind of what we were saying earlier is like, I really believe once you have enough money, you have enough money. Like, I was looking at Jacob deGrom's contract, right? Which is fucking criminal, by the way, and he's going to opt out for sure and leave the Mets. It's so weird. He makes, like, this year he's making, like, 20. Then I think he gets a pay cut to, like, 18 and a half. Then he goes up to, like, 30 and a half, and then he goes to, like, 12. Final year of his contract's, like, way down. But the reason he signed that is because he's like, who cares if it goes up and down? Because I have, Like, but, like, if you told me right now, like, you can make $1 million 2 years from now, but next year you have to take like a drastic pay cut. I'd be like, I can't do that. I need all the money coming in, But once you've crossed the threshold, it can go up, it can go down, as long as the number is right at the end of the day, no big deal. So I feel like once you make your money,
like a president can. I would guess speaking engagements for presidents, you're making at least $1 million.
and that's when you're a fucking 80-year-old crusty asshole. If you're a 44-year-old, I'm just gonna be good looking, dynamic, clever, funny. You're like a stand-up. I'd have a Netflix special as the next president.
Well, Obama has one.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, that's big fucking money.
Obama's just living our life. He just has more
Way better.
money.
Way better.
It's like I have a podcast and I have a Netflix thing. And
amazing.
It's like, oh.
If Obama tries to do 1 Minute Man, I'm coming for that ass, bro. Fuck. What do you think about like all those SNL people got all upset, all the fucking people didn't like Elon. There were people who were like, he could end world hunger. And I'm never a fan of I don't know, rich people just shouldn't have to fucking fix all the problems of the world. But when you got $200 billion, you probably should have to give some of that to people, no?
Yeah, 200.
I just, to me, or maybe you learn this along the way when you're rich that there's people are never satisfied. It's like I think he or Bezos donated like $150 million to someone, and they were like, "You're a cheapskate."
Well,
that
was different. Like I believe it's Bezos you're talking about, and he had like very strict restrictions on
how it
can be spent, where it can be spent, how long it has to sit. But I think if we might be talking about the same thing. We might not be. Because I'm not as knowledgeable with it, but like. I remember looking at it and being like, oh, this is actually pretty scumbag. Because it's got to be kept in an account that he gets the dividends for. So he's going to end up making money off it. And
well, I don't know. Okay. But see, these are the things that you think about where it's like, I'm going to give you $150 million, but you can't possibly spend that $150 million all at once. So if it's going to sit in an account, I get to collect the interest on that or something. I don't know. That's the craziest thing in the world.
No, you're probably right.
It's you still get your $150 million. I'm just gonna make 250 off. Yeah, that's how you get to be a 200 billionaire.
Dude, but they were saying his new mega yacht he just built.
Yeah. Well, I also feel bad about that because he paid for that 5 years ago in the peak of luxury time. So I think people are kind of killing him right now. It's created and completed and being given to him. And people are kind of oh, really? In the middle of this time? He's like, well, I paid for it 5 years ago when the world was booming.
I didn't know the pandemic was
right, which does kind of suck. But yeah, that thing is 400 fucking feet long or 400 yards long or some shit.
It has a second yacht on it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It has a second.
Yo, dog, I heard you like yachts, so we put a yacht inside your yacht. It's my yacht.
It literally has a second yacht because I don't know if they forgot to design it. Or if it just didn't really fit the aesthetic of their other super yacht, but it didn't have a helipad. Oh. And his wife, right? Or girlfriend?
Rosalind Sanchez? Or Rosalind something? Or Lauren Sanchez? Something like that?
I believe that's the one that was referenced in this. She was like, well, where's our helicopter going to go? And he's like, you're right. We got to get another yacht. And then that yacht just follows around his yacht.
To land the helicopter. Yeah. So you got to land your helicopter on your yacht, take a shuttle to your yacht. Then shuttle back to the yacht to get on the helicopter to go home. Amazing.
And it all cost, it was, if in $50,000 a year money, it costs $130 now.
No way.
Yeah, it was like someone who makes 50 grand a year.
Those things blow my mind, But
we were just talking about how hard it is. How if you walk into a building, you have to spend $100.
Yes.
So Bezos walked into a building and bought a mega yacht.
Right.
It didn't have 6 beers.
Yeah, he just went shopping.
Yeah.
See what I can't believe. So that makes sense, right? But doesn't Conor McGregor have $100 million yacht? I'm trying to find it now. I'm pretty sure Conor McGregor has a super yacht that's like, I don't think he has that kind of money, does he?
You're not.
Does he own it, or is he go on it?
I'm
or
guessing
something?
like he goes on it. Because, there's definitely been a picture of him on some kind of yacht like that. But also, he did
Conor McGregor owns a 300-foot Lamborghini super yacht. Owns, it says. I'm not seeing a price here on this, but like...
They're actually up there.
Conor McGregor yacht, built by Neorian, the Moonlight 2. Oh, okay. He rents it. He doesn't own this thing. It goes for $784,000 per week. But that makes sense because that means, probably a couple weeks a year he goes out on this thing and spends like, $1 million. And that's it. He has $1 million vacation.
Yeah, he does it
so
whenever
like owning super yachts is like reserved for like the billionaires.
Because you just can't. Boats aren't that fun.
No.
Like boats are fun for
those boats are probably fun.
Because
those boats are like, man.
But even you're just not near anything.
You don't need to be, John. Everything you need's on the fucking boat.
No, I need access to like
what? Tell me.
Just like a bar.
There's a bar on there.
I know, but it's not I want to go to a different bar. I want the ability to go to a different bar.
There's probably multiple bars. You can go bar hopping on the mega yacht. There's probably a fucking Irish pub with sawdust on the floor and someone puking in the corner because that's what Jeff Bezos wants. And then you can go to the club, and then you can go to the coffee shop, and you can go to the hipster bar, all within the first like quarter of the mega yacht.
You're probably right. And if that doesn't exist, the helicopter provides pretty good access to
anything you need.
New bars.
Yeah.
But yes, mega yachts are a different thing. But I don't know. I don't like being on fucking.
I'm actually with you. Like being on a cruise ship is kind of like. But again,
even like when I'm on like a friend's nice boat, and obviously we're not talking mega yachts or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like, there's all the beers, there's all the food I want.
Yeah.
I'm also just like,
Can we just go
I don't
back?
know. I'm kind of just tired of being on this one.
Yes.
Like,
I need to move.
Yeah. I want the.
You know what boats need more of? Like couches. You're
More couch.
not like I can the thing I can do for an extended period of time is sit on a couch and watch TV. And boats often have like seats and those kind of like little pads on. I need like a fucking couch on my mega yacht with a TV.
They're just like they have just this implication to them where you always kind of feel like I am not in control of my own destiny right now.
Yeah, like if I get sick, if I get tired, if I get bored, if something goes wrong, I'm like stuck in the middle of the fucking water.
Yeah,
here.
just like
you know what you have the helicopter, so you can get the fuck out of there real quick.
And it's different when it's your boat, but just like I've never been on my boat because I don't have a boat.
Yeah.
So like I'm always just like I'm completely at your will.
Yeah.
Like I can't really make you go in
I'm
because
with
you
you.
invited me out on this boat.
Yeah, I mean,
and
even, I've done that.
So
Like
I'm miserable. I should just sit out here.
I've gone on my brother-in-law's boat, and he's like a big time fisherman and loves being on the water. And I like to like go out, do a loop, like get some sun, feel the salt water in my face, and then like go home.
Yeah.
But they like to go out and stay out, so I'm like, I
guess I
got to commit to like 4.5 hours out there.
100%.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that's
But also again, if it's like, well, just dispense the little yacht to take me away.
Yeah.
Then it's not
I'll get
so
the
bad.
fuck out of here.
All right, last voicemail of the day is brought to you by Lightboxer. Johnny Lightboxer over here.
Yeah.
The dude is throwing these hands. He's playing Simon Says. He's busting through the fucking wall.
I'm
of
even
his
wearing
apartment.
a shirt like a boxer right
You
now.
are. It must be hot.
I'm.
Today's pretty good.
Yeah, today's pretty fine.
Today's not that bad. I'm not sweating
No.
profusely today. So
Yeah,
you do look like a guy. You look like Rocky. He's gonna go like punch fucking meat hanging from the ceiling.
Don't punch me. I punch high tech. That's it.
Oh, that's right. I'm not punching meats. I'm punching Lightboxer because that's the new punch. What do they call it? Like boxing equipment, punching equipment that it lights up so you kind of follow the pattern. You punch. And like I said, kind of playing like Simon Says, and then it tracks
so
your power.
much fun.
The app is really great too. They have like you create a profile. It has your workouts. It has your progress. Really easy, intuitive to use app that explains like what you're doing, what's next, how to punch, how fast you're doing it, how hard you're doing it, and that it follows every move. So accuracy, power, good hits. There's music that has choreographed training classes and challenges.
It's arguably the most fun I've ever had working out.
Really?
Like I genuinely believe that. I genuinely mean that. And I've liked a lot of workout things. I really like the jump ropes and stuff. I like it. I like a workout that is not.
You have
boring.
ADD. You have ADD.
It's not.
Like,
this is
you
like.
are. This is like. This is the workout for ADD. This is like a cat, where it's like, lights. Punch,
Yeah,
punch,
like,
grab,
and then they're like, everyone, Garrett, get off the platform. Now you're doing push-ups, and it's like, all right,
Oh,
well,
wow,
we'll do that
okay.
too. And
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it says also you play the music. It's got Bieber and Nicki Minaj and all these people.
Oh,
so
great
you're
artists.
playing the music.
I
and it's telling
tend
you what
to live in the punk rock realm. My girl Mary, But it is fucking fun. It's also crazy easy to set up. I thought it was gonna be a real pain in the ass to set up. It is a little intimidating looking. It took 15 minutes to set up. It's easy. You fucking go.
What's good too is that you don't have to be like a boxer. You don't have to be like, I trained before, I know how to punch. It's like you can use this as a complete novice.
For sure.
It's like it just lights up and you punch it, and then you'll get better at it, and it teaches you and tells you what to do based on the app and the progress. So you'll learn how to, but you don't have to be like an MMA guy or a boxer or anything. No.
I was not like I'd done maybe 3 months of boxing in my life at various points. So I was far
And when he
from
says
about
that, he
it.
means like he's just knocked out a couple people at a bar before. Go to lightboxer.com, LITE boxer.com/KFC. Get $100 off your purchase. It's the best workout you can get at home, whether you put on a pair of gloves before or not. Lightboxer.com/KFC to get $100 off your Lightboxer purchase. Last one. What do we got, Nick?
Hey, what up, Kev? Vice, Puerto Rican Puff Daddy. Yeah, I'm just thinking here. I put like 8 golf balls in the drink today. So, how many people do you think have been dropped in the ocean? I'm going back to like the Viking Anglo-Saxon days, and I'm thinking like pirates and all that shit. Mossad even threw like Nazi killers and shit there. I'm gonna say like 10 billion people overall.
I thought he was going to say like 10
10
billion people have been dropped in the ocean.
Billion, he said, with a B.
That's a crazy high number.
10.
I think this is a very
He thinks there
specific
are
thing.
10,000 rotting corpses in Davy Jones's locker. I mean, sorry, 10 billion. 10
I was
billion.
going to say 10,000. I feel like that might be low.
That's low.
But this is a very specific thing. This like dropped into the oceon. If you said drowned in the ocean. Is that what he means? Does he mean no, he means like we tied your feet to bricks and we threw you in the ocean.
Yes. That is at least how I understand it.
I don't think that's that high.
What?
I don't think that number's that high.
Oh, no, nor do I. I think it's higher than 10,000. But like, we're talking like how many people did the pirates make walk the plank? Right? And then we're talking.
Well, that's the peak.
Yeah.
Because then, like, modern days, it's like the mafia dropping you in, like, the Hudson River, if that counts. Like, the ocean versus water. Let's just say water.
I think the Hudson
I think the old school pirates making you walk the plank is the heyday for dropping people in the ocean.
Well, we did when we did it to Osama.
Yeah, but that's
he
that
was already dead. He wasn't.
He was dead, but we also knew it was like that was a whole thing that we just like threw his body off for some fucking crazy inexplicable reason.
It actually does make sense.
What?
They just didn't want his grave to be used as like a
that's fine. I'm not saying homeboy should have got a fucking nice headstone. I think that like the government would like
just
keep
his body,
keep it in like a fucking locker in like the CIA.
I think the only reasons for it were like they didn't want it to be like
glorified,
and they're just like look, let's get rid of it.
That I actually do understand, but I also could see another side of things where it's like there's the drawer with the JFK fucking like like who killed him, and then there's the drawer with his body. Like that just seems like something you got to make sure.
John Belushi is buried in.
You know what I would be like I would worry. I'm surprised that they weren't like he's not dead. And they just have some guy who fucking looks just like him. Like, no, he's still alive. And then we'd have to be like, nope, look at the fucking body. We got the proof right here. John Belushi's what?
His grave is in, John Belushi's buried at Martha's Vineyard. And like his grave is usually like his grave is just never not covered in beer
bottles,
beer and
but
cigarettes.
That's
That's
appropriate.
Right? Yeah. That's not
Jim Belushi. How about Jim Belushi's got that gas? Yeah. One of the funniest internet developments is that Jim Belushi is like a great weed dealer. And that's the line,
is he
right?
great? I thought he just tweeted like Jim's got that. Like he's actually successful. And stuff?
I thought that meant he was just like in on the cannabis. Like
that's what I think it is. But
I thought he tweeted like Jim Belushi's got that gas, and I thought it meant he has like a strand of weed, and he's like in on the legal cannabis and all that.
That's what I think.
And I think Dan Aykroyd too.
Really?
I think Dan Aykroyd like does shit with him, and like they love that weed, man. All right, final answer though.
Final answer. I'm just gonna Google. I'm just gonna see if I can Google like how many.
Well, do the pirate thing first.
There.
How many people have the pirates executed by walking the plank?
By the way, it's estimated about only 107 billion people have ever lived.
Yeah.
So that's about 10%.
I was thinking that. I was like, how many people have lived to have 10 billion of them be dead by a very specific thing? And even I said if you include drowned people, that probably goes way up. But even that, I feel like when you drown, usually they pull your body, like they find your body. So to have bodies at the bottom of the ocean.
Pirates rarely made people walk the plank.
Okay, so there's like 60 people. There's like, the mafia threw a couple people in when you sleep with the fishes, and that's about it.
Yeah, it is.
Walking the plank is definitely.
For thousands of years, pirates of various sorts have preyed on innocent ships at sea. Their exploits have been documented by blah, 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 blah.
Actually, there's a thing on Netflix right now about piracy. And I think it's I think the preview I saw for it, I didn't watch it, but the little Netflix preview said that they actually had like a real code of honor, and it wasn't like savagery.
Yeah,
it was not like we kill you and fucking, it's not like we fuck you and kill you and like, we rape and pillage. It was kind of like we have our own code of the seas.
Pirates did make people walk the plank every now and then, but historical records seem to indicate the practice was extremely rare. In fact, pirates preferred not to kill their victims. If they gained a reputation for killing everyone on board of every ship they took,
they wouldn't
crew
go.
members would simply fight to the death
Yeah.
every time a crew of pirates hopped on deck.
Right.
That would be an awful lot of work
I
for the
think it
pirates.
was a business. I think it was like, listen, we're here, we're taking over your ship, but if you work for us, what do you care for? You work for this captain, you work for that captain, whatever, So I'm gonna say final answer 10,000, and maybe even lower.
I think I'm gonna go under on 10,000, not way lower, but even 10,000. I'm going 5.
Yeah, I mean it's a fucking weird thing.
And like
this number could be in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Dropped in the ocean.
10
It's so weird.
billion, he said.
That's one of the worst answers we've ever had. One of the worst answers we've ever had. I expect a girl to answer that, not a guy. That is way off.
Are we counting even the mafia stuff?
That's like probably happened once.
They were already dead. Like he said, like dropped in the ocean.
Well, I think they used to put the bricks on your feet when you were alive and toss you.
Oh yeah,
I think so. But I think that was like that's probably A, from a movie that wasn't real, and B, if it was like one time.
Yeah. That's
7 people. 7 people have been dropped in the ocean to their death. All right, that's it for us. Make sure you go subscribe to. Oh, real quick, I got sent these shoes. From a dude named Sean. I do know his name is Sean. That's it, though. And I can't remember his Instagram handle. I know he's Sean. It's something like Sean Holio, Sean something like Cornholio, Sean Holio. These are an unbelievable pair of sneakers that are worth like $500. And he just sent them to me because he's the fucking man. But I can't remember his Instagram handle, and I can't search and find it. So, Sean, DM me. I would like to thank you for these sneakers. And also, while you're at it, everyone, subscribe to our YouTube channels and rate, review, subscribe on the podcast. And because if not,
my grandma's gonna die tomorrow.
Listen, if you made it this far into the video,
Which is far. Like no one ever does that on the internet.
like it's the end. You made it to the end of the video.
Full fucking video.
You watched the whole thing. So if you liked it and you watched the whole thing, why don't you subscribe?
It means you like us,
Click the subscribe button, because if you don't, I'm gonna fucking murder John.
and I'm gonna like it.
Kill him with my bare fucking hands.
Yeah.
And if you weren't sold on this video, there's plenty more. Watch what's next up and then subscribe. But just subscribe so I don't have to fucking kill him.
Well, I don't know. Do what you want, but subscribe. Probably.